Well, good morning again. I'm Allison Muccio with the Boca Chamber. For those of you who do not know me, happy Tuesday morning and welcome to our business workshop. Very excited to hear Rick talk about SEO. Always a very, very hot topic right now. What I would love to do is just go around and just have everybody just do a very brief introduction so that Rick knows who you are. Couple things, when you do have questions, you can either raise your hand physically, or you can use the little hand raise thing, and I will look for people that are doing that. That way it's more interactive since this is a workshop. So feel free to ask questions. I know Rick is ready for all those tough and easy questions. Well, we can always come back to her. Well, I have the honor of introducing Rick, so I'm going to read his very, very impressive bio. Local management, high-rise digital CMO Rick Waters has been creating and promoting profitable websites for his clients in South Florida and around the world since the 1990s, and was one of the first SEO and web developers in the state when he started Webcast One Inc. in 1996. Rick was also the founder and CEO of LogoDesign.com, the first online logo design company. In addition, he led his team in the development of the SearchWiz.com search engine. Rick's clients have included large corporations like PepsiCo, Microsoft, Johnson & Johnson, South Florida standouts like Mayors Jewelers, Hewlett Pest Control, Skateboards.com, 411 Pain, as well as hundreds of startups and small companies. He and his team have also worked with celebrities ranging from Alicia Keys to Zig Ziglar. Rick has spoken at web marketing industry national conferences and enjoys staying near the vanguard of new technology. He was an early investor in Facebook, as well as the author of the book Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Mastery. He continually seeks out new ways to leverage digital marketing innovations for the benefits of his clients. Rick believes that technology can only take you so far, and that a balance between the world of bits and bytes and the organic world is essential. In his spare time, he enjoys writing and producing music, and his recent track, United in Dance, reached #2 on the Billboard dance charts. In addition, Rick enjoys playing tennis, reading American history, and spending time with his amazing daughter, Juju. And Rick, thank you for being our
speaker. Oh, wow. Thank you, Allison. That's very nice of you. I didn't know. Wow, it's fun to hear all that stuff. I'd forgotten some things that I've done. Cool. Well, we're going to have some fun today, guys. This is going to be a great session. I'm really excited to be here. I want to thank Chastity and Allison and the board, and Boca Chamber, for having me here. And I hope each and every one of you take away something useful for your website or your SEO campaign. Let's get going here. I'm going to... Everybody see the first slide? All right. So this is SEO for beginners. We're going to keep it as basic as we can, but SEO can get a little bit complicated. I'll try to keep it as simple as I can for everybody, but feel free to ask me questions or stop me, and I'll be happy to explain what I'm discussing further. So today we're going to cover Google and SEO. We're going to cover benchmarks, Onsite SEO, OffSite SEO, technical SEO, Google's new algorithm, which is very exciting. So stick around for that. KPIs, and we'll close with questions. So let's begin. All right. Everybody here, I know, remembers the Yellow Pages. So at one point, the Yellow Pages dominated what I call business search, with 85% of the business search market. So we all let our fingers do the walking. Unfortunately, the Yellow Pages let their fingers do the walking and let their audience do the walking all the way over to the World Wide Web, because of course, as we know now, our fingers do the walking to websites like Google. It's kind of like the story of the carriage. You probably all know about this. In the late 1800s, there were a lot of carriage makers, and that was the main form of transportation. And some of them noticed that there was this new phenomenon. If they put an engine on top of the carriage, they could create a car. And some of them made the shifts and started making wagon wheels and changing them, putting rubber on them and shifting gears. And the carriage became the car. And some of them didn't and kept doing what they were always doing because they, felt uncomfortable changing. So don't be like the Yellow Pages, change with the changing times. It can be difficult at times, but it's really not that tough, especially if you follow Google, because Google is all about helping people. And Google is a great vehicle for your business, as I'm sure most of you know. Google is the new Yellow Pages, really. It's the #1 site everyone uses. We all know that. Did you know it controls 92% of the search market? So I like to say it's Google's sandbox, and we're all just playing in it. I hope all of you have a Gmail account. If you don't, I would recommend you get one, because having a Gmail account is your keys to the kingdom in terms of the Google world. And Google offers everything from not just email, but spreadsheets, access to all these great tools I'm going to talk about today in terms of SEO, and also the presentation I'm using today is PowerPoint. So you get access to so many free tools. You really don't need to use anything but Google. Plus, you're storing everything on Google's hard drives, which is good, which saves you money as a small business. So now is the ideal time to develop an SEO strategy, because the world is opening up again. We're all super excited to be back in business. And the time is now to prepare yourselves for the future. And the future is Google, and the future is search. And the future is also Google's new search algorithm, which is coming out. It's actually just came out about a week ago. So it's really exciting for people in the marketing business, especially SEO, SEM. It's a very exciting time for us because we're seeing how the changes impact us. And the easier you are to find, the better. So we all know that. So let's find out how we can make ourselves easy to find. To do that, we should develop some kind of SEO strategy. A strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. It's time to develop a coherent SEO strategy. So actions to achieve our target. And for most of us, the target is coming up high in Google. So that's the aim of many of us, getting in the top 5, getting those top 5, top 3, #1 terms. Hopefully some of you have top 5 search results for a lot of your main keyword phrases. Today, of course, keep in mind your website, obviously, as we're going through this. And right now, maybe start to jot down your top keyword phrases, because we may do some searching with them and see how many people search for those in a bit. So if we enact a strategy and execute the tactics toward that strategy, it should result in good results for you. And another question is, who's going to help you along this journey to execute your strategy? I know a lot of you are small business owners, and you need to do a lot of it yourself. And you can do a lot of it yourself, but you're going to have to, learn a bit and pay attention to videos out there and tutorials. But Google supplies a lot of information that you can glean if you want to do things yourself. Of course, you have your webmaster. The webmaster, if you have one guy that does it all, that's a great way too. But he's got to handle graphic design. He's got to handle programming. He's got to handle updating your site, keeping it secure. There's a lot to handle. So if you can afford to, it's nice to work with a web agency or an SEO agency that can assist you. Okay. Now, there are several ways to position yourself in Google. You may know of some of these, but I wonder if you know about all of these. I know, did anyone take a guess at there's 5 ways actually you can get to Google. 2 of them are free, 2 of them are paid, and 3 of them are free. Well, there's the answers in front of us. Okay, it's early. So Google AdWords, if you're familiar with that, those are the paid ads that come up when you search. Google Guaranteed is something new, and we're not going to touch on paid that much, but Google Guaranteed is certainly interesting. So if you search for the best lawyer in Boca or best plumber, and you see these little boxes pop up at the top, people are bidding, they're vetted by Google to be able to be listed as a guaranteed Google guaranteed. That just, it's kind of like Angie's List. They've vetted the company. Then we have the Google 3-pack. Okay, I'm going to show you what that is. So here is the 3-pack right here. So these are essentially free listings that companies get. Now you're probably wondering, how do I get there? How do I stay high up there? Because if you click view all, there's going to be a lot of collections attorneys. But you have to maintain your Google My Business listing. You have to make sure your NAP information, your name, address, and phone number are kept up to date. You have to get reviews, and that's how more or less you stay up there. There's a lot of variables involved, and we'll touch on some of those. But this is the Google 3-pack. The other way to come up high in Google is Google organic search, and I know you're all familiar with that. Actually, yeah, there we go. Okay. And also Google My Business. And there is an example of Google My Business right there, Thomas J. McCarty. So hopefully you have all claimed your Google My Business listing, and we're going to talk more about that. Okay. Cool. Here we go. So how do you get your web pages higher? Here at Local Management and High Rise Digital, we have a formula for SEO success, which is responsive website plus authoritative content plus technical updates plus quality backlinks times weekly effort equals high rankings. And I'm going to touch on each of the elements in the formula as we go through the presentation. Google's algorithms. Okay, this is where some of you might be looking at this and blurry-eyed and, oh man, it's too early for this. But this is our world as SEOs. We have to keep in touch with Google's algorithms. Not just one algorithm, but they have a number of algorithms. Algorithms are like math equations and so formulas that are used within the search engine. There are over 200 of them that we have to stay in touch with. Here are some of the top variables. The words in your query, how relevant your page is to the person's search, the usability of the pages, your URL, the location, your social signals. They all account for a certain percentage of the results. Basically, Google has billions of pages. It indexes. So how do you get indexed? Your website has to get crawled. How do you get crawled? You have to make sure your website is welcoming to these Google spiders so that when they crawl, they find you. And when they find you, you're in Google, that's great. Step 2 is how do you become relevant and how do you come up high in the search? And that is through these variables. So as SEOs, we tweak as many of these variables in your favor as possible. You see, this is like the periodic table of elements in chemistry we all remember. On the left, this is kind of interesting. On the left side, you have quality content, you have the crawlability, you have freshness of your content is very important. Keeping your pages updated frequently, changing things, even on a subpage. If you do an update, Google sees that and comes back to your site. Now, on the other side of things, you have toxins. This is bad. So keyword stuffing. So if you want to come up on a search for travel agent, you don't want to just keep putting travel agent all over the page. We used to do that. That doesn't work anymore. That is bad. And then we have emerging fields as well, which is voice search, which I find very exciting. You want to come up on searches in Siri and in Google and Alexa. To do that, I'll give you a tip here. This is a good tip for the workshop. Questions and answers. Questions and answers. So again, for travel, where are the most popular destinations in 2021? What are the best deals on travel to the islands right now? What are the latest travel restrictions? If you could answer this question on your website in a way that is clear, succinct, and well written, to the point where Google likes your answer, Google will push your answer to the top, and that will bring you a ton of results. I have a friend who recently posted how to hang a poster without on the wall, or a picture on the wall without scuffing the wall, without damaging the wall. And he answered the question very well. Google found his website. He's #1 on a search for that now, and he's getting a ton of traffic. And as a photographer, that was very good for him. Website benchmarks. Before we can know where we are going, we have to know where we are. So at Local Management, before we started an SEO campaign, one of the first things we really do is record the benchmarks of where our clients are at currently. So we can have a measure of where of the progress we've made later on. So one of the things we look at is the Alexa score. So let's take a look at, this is Allegiance Home Health. They're a member of the chamber. They're one of our clients. Their Alexa score is 832,000. Now, this is a big number. It's gone up 250,000 recently. Alexa is like the Nielsen ratings for websites. It measures the top 20 million websites. So if you're in the top 1 million, you're doing okay. All right. Now, national websites, like my friend who has the travel site, he may be in, what was the travel site again? We can pull that up and take a look at your, if he's still on there, topgrouptravel.com, if my memory serves me right. Oops.
You put me under pressure here, Rick, but
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do that, but let's see. Oh, no data. Okay. So you want to be registered in Alexa. That's so we don't really know. Anyone else want to try? Once you're registered in Alexa, you get the Alexa score. But let's look at any other sites. Any other volunteers? Boca Chamber. Is it bocachamber.org? I'm guessing. No.
It's bocachamber.com.
Yeah.
Ah, that makes sense. Nice. You recently moved up 130,000. You have a lot of websites linking in, and you rank 759,000. That's terrific. Good. Okay.
Yay.
So this is one metric that we use. How are you doing in Alexa? Then we have the SEO Site Checker. This is a little more technical. This is a tool that we use as SEOs that scores websites. So we're going to take a look at callcooks.com. Oh. Okay, and the score is 95 out of 100 with 4,000 backlinks. Okay, its average load time is 3.2 seconds. This is good. This is a good. So we'll record this so we can measure against this for later. We look at GT metrics. I'm using a lot of clients of Local Management that we have. Of course, if you want me to, I'm happy to run these for you as well, either in real time in front of everyone if you want to do that. Otherwise, we'll do it off camera later. But here's Atlantic. This is a plumber. They have a GT metrics grade of 100. This measures speed. Website speed is critical right now. You got to get your websites optimized to load fast. Faster the better. Google doesn't like it when people have to wait for pages. None of us like to wait for pages. So Google has inserted that as an algorithm, part of the algorithm now. In fact, with the new algorithm, it's even more important than ever. There's something called largest contentful paint here, right here, and the score is 686 milliseconds. That's really good, and that's what you want to see. Speed. Domain authority, there's a lot of different backlinks we use. And then we have Google Insights and Google Analytics. If you recall, having a Gmail address gives you access, keys to the kingdom for Google. So if you don't have Google Insights, I'm going to show you how to get that tool. And Google Analytics, you should have that active if you have a website, because Google Analytics gives you reporting on visits and bounce rates and all sorts of KPIs that you need as a website owner. Okay. So the SEO world can be divided into two areas: on-page SEO and off-page SEO. On-site SEO are things that you do, as the name implies, on your website. So I thought this was a simple way to look at it. You know, you can divide everything up into what you do actually on your site itself, and off-site SEO are things that you do on other people's sites to help your site. So the most important factors with on-site are good web design, UI means user interface. So are your graphics popping? Does everything look good and pleasing? Does it compel people to want to keep exploring the site? Content creation, of course, you control that. You control the blogs and the videos that you post, and technical enhancements, which are things under the hood. So these are recurring themes that are very key in Google's new algorithm. The new algorithm, by the way, is called page experience, and we're going to talk more about that toward the end of this presentation, so stick around. So offsite SEO, let's start with that here in more depth. These are things you can do on other people's websites to help your site. So the first way is to get backlinks to your site because of the sticky content you've added to your site. What does sticky content mean? Sticky content are things that people are going to want to link to because it's very informative or very entertaining or compelling. So sticky content would be, anything having to do with something newsworthy, perhaps. Putting an infographic on your website. Like when you put the infographic, the periodic table of SEO, and you put that on your website, tons of people are going to link back to it. That's called an infographic. You could do an infographic for almost any industry, like for logo design. How does good branding improve your image? And you could show a graphic that displays that, and people might say, wow, this is a pretty cool graphic, and they link back to it from their site. Because you want to attain backlinks. Backlinks to your site are going to boost you in Google. Backlinks to your site boost you in Google. I always tell my clients to think link. So you, when you're at a cocktail party or your Boca Chamber event, you find out somebody has a website. Let's say let's say you sell backup generators. I don't know why it's popping in my head, but backup generators, and you talk to someone who's a public adjuster. Oh, hey, you do generators. Can you write an article for us about how a generator can help people during a hurricane? Sure, I'd love to do that. They put it on their public adjuster website, and it links back to the generator website, which helps the generator website because of the backlink, and helps the public adjuster site because of the value of the article for the readers. Social media is critical. These are Facebook, Instagram, and Google My Business. These create social signals, like smoke signals to Google. If you're using social media actively, which means at least once a week, mentioning yourself and giving tips to people on social media, Google sees that and they like that. Creating a customer review page. So I recommend this to all my clients also. Here's a plumber. They want their customers, their happy customers, to leave reviews. So we created a page for them where people can just click to leave a review. Okay. So that's important as well. You can leave a review here. Now, does it work? Well, they have 119 reviews. Okay. So that's good. Now they have to work on their review rating. You want to try to stay as close to 5 as possible, but that's on you. So guest blogging, that's similar to what I talked about with the generator situation, writing an article about hurricanes. If you write an article for someone and let them use it on their site or a blog post, that's a great way to get your content out there. Like, for instance, we already kind of went over an example. Think link. Obtaining directory listings. This is very important too. This is a great, easy way without a lot of work to get directory listings. All of these directories are third-party websites, so they're offsite, and they have profiles of many websites, and they link back to your site. So, for instance, Yelp. You know about Yelp. Get a listing in Yelp and have it link back to your website. For those of you in the food industry, you're probably in Uber or Uber Eats. There's Amazon. All these sites allow you to register for free, so you can go into each of these. You website owners out there, go out there and register in each of these sites. I'll give you this list if you want it, but I have 72 listed right here. And they're all across the board in terms of industries. There's the chamberofcommerce.com. Hopefully Boca Chamber is listed there. I know they are. all different industries. Dexnos, Easy Local, eLocal, DoorDash, Easy Doctor, all different industries. So getting listed in directories is important. Now, we help our clients get listed in all these directories, and we can manage these directories all at once. So if a holiday is coming up and you want to change your hours or show that you're closed, just add a few taps of the keyboard and you can change your hours, or you can do other things to update your profile on the fly. You know, you can change your menu on the fly, all sorts of things. So these are directory listings. Get listed in as many directories as possible. If you're in health and medical, there are health and medical directories. If you're in law, there are law-specific directories. Get listed in those. Any questions so far? I'm just about done with OffSite SEO. Okay, I don't hear anything. Silence. So you're all enjoying my presentation, I hope, so far. Buying backlinks is another way to get backlinks. Now, you have to be cautious with doing that, but people do buy backlinks as well, and we can help you with that. We find sites that are related to your industry and that have a very high domain authority and very high ranking, and we obtain them for you for a few shekels. Okay. Google My Business. This is sort of OffSite, and so we're going to talk about this related to OffSite. It's critical to SEO. Does everybody have their Google My Business profile claimed? Hopefully by now all of you have your Google My Business listing. If you don't, I can show you how to obtain one. I'm pretty sure you do. You claim it and you receive a postcard from Google to confirm the claim, and then it's kind of like a Yellow Page ad, and it provides a lot of information for customers.
We get on the road at 6 a.m. that day, the 19th. Okay.
Oh, okay. So the thing about this is you got to keep it updated. Just having the Google My Business listing, some of them are going to come up higher than others, and some come up more frequently than others. Why? Because they're frequently updated. What can you update? So let's take a note of this for the workshop. Update your photos frequently, at least once a quarter. There's opportunities to upload pictures of you at work, upload pictures of you with your customers interacting, upload pictures of you and your staff. So update the pictures, add a video once a quarter if you can. If you have a few YouTube videos, take one of them and upload them here to Google My Business. Google loves that. And the more active you are on your Google My Business, the higher up it's going to become, higher up it's going to list. Also posting. We do posts for our clients every week. Every client, it's just like Facebook. You talk about things like in healthcare, this is National Alzheimer's Month. Did you know that 1 in 4 people have someone with Alzheimer's in their family? Learn more about it. You know, so that post with a photo, you keep doing things like that on your Google My Business listing, it's really going to help you come up higher. Any questions about Google My Business? I know it's a popular topic. Oh, yeah.
Rick,
Okay,
I
go
have
ahead.
a question about that. So,
Right. Amalia, go ahead.
oh yeah. So being that I'm not really a local business per se. I work with clients all over the world online, almost
Yes.
exclusively. I have not claimed my Google My Business page. And I'm curious, is it something kind of in my mind, it felt like it was something more geared towards local businesses versus somebody that's doing something like me, because they're not necessarily going to be searching for spiritual advisor or life coach, Boca,
Right.
or Tone for things.
Well, right. They might be, though. You never know. Yeah, Google My Business is really for the local search, but you never know. You can get, even if you're a national corporation, you can get business coming in on the local search. I worked with a printer at one point. He's national. He's like a value print. He's national, but he still got walk-ins from his Google My Business listing. So spiritual. So there's, so this one is that's her Google My Business listing.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, I know you're national in scope, but if you work out as long as you have a legitimate real address in the area, you can get a listing for that city. And you may even come up on Delray Beach. You may come up on 2 or 3 cities, but it's usually just the main core city.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and I use a PO box, and it's an actual address. It's not like PO box with a number. It's an actual street address. It's my
Good.
business address. Would
Good.
Google still pick that up as an actual address, or would it?
Yes, we've done that. Yeah, don't
Okay.
use a PO box. You can't use a PO box.
Right.
Yeah, but and you have to be. It's very challenging with virtual addresses too. So some of our clients actually rent offices. This is kind of an insider tip, but they rent inexpensive offices where they just store boxes, but they have an extra Google My Business listing. That's how valuable the Google My Business listings are for local search. They get because Google will give you a Google My Business box like this, but only typically in your main city and maybe one city next to it. So be careful in changing your addresses. One of our attorneys is a lawyer, and he had a great listing, but then he went and one of his partners registered with Martindale Hubble and got another listing. So now they have a duplicate listing penalty on Google My Business. And that's bad because Google's pulled them down all of a sudden until they figure out what the duplication is. Okay. So be cautious when you change it. Don't play around with your Google My Business. They're like gold. Once you get it, you got it. Keep updating it. Keep feeding the Google furnace with photos. Keep giving them that. Give Google what it wants.
Rick, I got oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Sorry, just one more follow-up question on the Google My Business thing.
Sure.
Would you also still recommend reviews even in this case? So the reviews, no matter what the situation is, are going to be beneficial? Yes, no?
Are the reviews beneficial?
Yeah.
Oh, negative reviews are not beneficial.
Well, no,
Right.
I'm just saying having reviews, like since I'm not a local business, even if I'm not a local business and I have my Google My Business listing, reviews are super important.
Reviews are super important, as you all probably know. So you do want to still get reviews, and not just in Google My Business, but also in Facebook, of course. And there are third-party plugins where you can pop in your own reviews, and you can actually display Google, like say plumbing experts. Nope, hold on. This is another site about us. Testimonials. Watch this. Testimonials. So this is a plugin that we put into the site, which pulls testimonials right from Google. Okay, and he can pick and choose which testimonials he wants to show. All right, but testimonials are critical, of course, and reviews. And also another tidbit about reviews: take the high road when you get a bad review. And I know it's tempting to just give all the details back about, oh, this person is wrong, and this is not how we. You want to just take the high road and pretend you're Delta Airlines replying to your bad reviews. And if someone posts a bad review and ad nauseum about you, and you just write 2 sentences back, we're sorry you had that issue. We'll take care of it, of course. Then Google likes that. Google doesn't like it when you go tit for tat with someone in the reviews. Okay. So now we're going to go on.
Rick, real quick question, just Google My Business. So I have a travel agency. I have had Google My Business listing for a while. Since I've been putting posts on there, pictures. My issue is since October, I've been prohibited from doing new posts on Google My Business. It says that my business category is suspended. I'm not sure if that had to do with accommodations and the COVID-19 thing.
I think it has to do with COVID-19.
Yeah, I've contacted them like 4 times in these crazy email circles that you go on and never get a response, and it's been very frustrating.
Very frustrating, very difficult with Google right now. A lot of their support is in India, and that's an issue, unfortunately, right now. So you got to be patient with Google My Business tech support. Now, if you do need to get to Google My Business, we have certain connections that we have. Like I'm friends with Ben Fisher and Rich over at they're Google Platinum certified experts on just Google My Business. That's all they do all day. So if we ever get in a tangle with Google My Business and we get stuck, we call them and they help us. So I'm happy to help you offline in that. We can ask them and see what they think.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, sure. So on-site SEO, shifting away from off-site, on-site SEO is a much bigger area. Okay, Good web design, as you remember from earlier, is a big component of it. So your website, Google really wants to deliver pleasing websites that look great on iPads, on desktop, and on mobile. They want to deliver the best user experience as possible to their users and visitors. So what you can do is keep your website looking good, okay? Ask yourself these questions, okay? Does your website look great on desktop and mobile? It should render the same. If it doesn't, you may not have a responsive website. Here's another vocabulary word, responsive website. Is your website responsive or not? Responsive means no matter where you look at it, in whatever device, it pretty much looks the same. If it's not responsive, it's going to look different. And if any of you have seen these sites where, whoa, on mobile, pieces are all over the place and it doesn't look right. Well, that's not a responsive website. Responsive means it responds the same. Responsive means it responds the same way no matter what the device. Does it load fast? Remember, speed is critical. So in the algorithms, is it easy to navigate? People don't like to wait and people like to find what they want. So make it very easy to find. Here's one tip. If you do, it doesn't matter what widget you sell or what service you provide. If you just put services in your navigation, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. So services, what kind of services do you offer? What kind of services? You want to give people breadcrumbs as to what you do. So is it, consulting services? Is it spiritual services? Is it logo services? So use qualifying adjectives on your terms. Don't be too generic. Every page should have a CTA, which is a call to action, like act now and get the free white paper or free consultation. And every page should have a carrot, which means, carrot's orange. Let's say your whole website's blue. You need a highlight color that pops out on your site. I'm going to try to show you an example here of what I mean. So this is a website we have. We like to think this is a good website and it offers a compelling user experience and it's visibly pleasing to the eye. Here's the logo. Notice the logo colors here and how they inform the entire site. Notice it loads fast. Notice the use of red here, which is not in our color palette. These are the carrots. We want people to click on these listings to get them into our the MLS area. Okay, so this is a good example of good design. It's responsive design, looks great. Navigation, good navigation, easy to get to content. Okay, so keep working on your website to make it as compelling as possible. That's a big part of what Google looks for. Any questions on that? Otherwise, we'll move on to keywords. Keywords, yes, the keys to the kingdom. Before you start an SEO strategy, you need to know what keywords you want to come up under. So we use a tool, and I'll share these with you later, called Google AdWords. So we're going to just, I'm going to show you how easy, because I have a Google address, AdWords. You just go to AdWords, you sign in. Now, I'm not advertising right now or spending money, which you can do on AdWords. This is how Google makes all its money, by the way, doing AdWords. We're going to use a free tool that they offer. I'm using it for a different purpose. But the SEOs, we know about these things. So we use this tool to find out what keywords. So this is like insight into Google searches. This is what is everybody searching for? We can find out by looking in Google here. So let's say we're doing a website on, I don't know, life insurance. That would go life insurance, not that exciting. Anybody want to volunteer a couple keywords for their business? And I can take a look at how many people search. Otherwise, I'll just make something up.
I would love for me.
Go ahead. Who are you? And
Amalia.
Amalia. Okay.
Yeah. So the spiritual advisor, transformation, healing, personal development.
I like how you know your keywords are off the top of your head. That's good.
Well,
now,
I'm making them up as we're going.
Oh, okay, that's good. And that's what people do when they search. So you want to get in the heads of the people that are searching for you and find out what they searched for. A funny story, I had a client who's from England and he sold entertainment units, and entertainment units is what he sold. And I went to visit with him, and after talking to him for a while and showing him this, we did a search for entertainment units, I'm going to put this in there also. Entertainment units, entertainment. I know them as entertainment centers. I don't know about you, but that's what we call them over here. But all his business literature, it was all about entertainment units. Look at this, entertainment units, 1,000 to 10,000 searches. Okay. And he said, blimey, look at that. What do you know? Well, I guess I sell entertainment centers after all. We're in the entertainment center business now. I'm like, yes. See, this is why you don't want to guess. You want to know. And you know when you use a tool like this. So here are your terms: personal development, spiritual advisor, not as highly sought, but transformation, very broad. So you keep using this tool and you sort of hone your keywords and come up with options. You could also discover new keywords, you know. So I'm going to put in anyone else, another volunteer, want to play around with this a little bit? No? Okay.
How about the franchise consultant, Rick?
Aha. Is that Stuart? Who is that said that, franchise consultant? Give
That's
yourself
me,
a plug.
Hanny.
Hanny. Hi, Hanny.
Hey, Rick.
All right, and Hanny's dog. Cool. Other keywords besides franchise consultant you want to try? What do you think people search for your
Entrepreneur.
Very broad term. Any? Okay, that's fine. Oops. Let's try those. So as you can imagine, a ton of people search for entrepreneur. Franchise consultants a little more defined. And these are popular entrepreneurs. Okay, so this is being dominated by entrepreneurs. So I'm going to go back and edit this and just do franchising, etc. So I use this for everything from deciding what domain name I'm going to choose. Like I use keywords in my domain names often, to what topics I'm going to write about in my blog. Because people are searching for these terms. So these are what you want to use. Average monthly searches. Okay. And as we see, business consulting, franchise broker, franchise consulting group. These are all good terms for you to use in your site. The smaller you go, hey, it might not be that many people searching, but the one that searches could be the diamond that you're looking for, you know? So don't discount the smaller searches. Nobody perhaps goes for that. This is the competition. So on this term right here, essentially a franchise, no one's searching for that. Let's see. Franchise legal advice, not a lot of searches for that. So it's probably easy for you to come up on a search. So if you create a page about franchise legal advice, you'll probably come up in the top 10 in Google. Does that make sense?
It does.
Step-by-step franchise consulting. I would say, Hanny, you might want to write a blog post about step-by-step franchise consulting. How do you take a franchise from beginning to end? There's only medium competition for it. It's worth $30 a click. Okay. And there aren't a lot of searches. Okay. Let's say maybe there's 100 searches a month. But hey, if you get one of these people to click and visit you and sign up with you, then there you go. All right. Keywords.
Thanks for that.
You're very welcome. Okay. So you want to pick a core keyword phrase that's like your main phrase. Like if you only could come up with one term, what would that one term be? So for our client Call for Health in Delray Beach, it's medical call answering. Almost everything they do has to do with medical call answering. That's their main thing. So have that term appear on just about every page of your website somehow, okay? Because as a whole, Google will see that this website obviously values medical call answering. And it's going to help you come up on a search for medical call answering. You can't do this with a lot of terms, but with your core term, I put it on almost every page. And does it work? Let's take a look. Here's medical call answering and medical call answering. Very competitive, but they come up number 5 in the world on medical call answering. Not too shabby, right? Let's see. And here's now for the other core phrases, your other top 10 phrases should have they could be in categories on your website. Okay. So, let's say you sell life insurance. Your other top phrases would probably be variable life insurance, whole life insurance, term life insurance. And you wouldn't want to put those under services. You'd want to give each of those a category in your website because they're very important search terms. So close permits fast is another example. We did keyword research. Open permits are a big keyword item. People search for that. Expired permits, they search for that. Code violations, and they search for illegal structures. So we created categories and sub pages on each of those topics. Okay, does it work? Boca Raton. I need to close a permit in Boca Raton. There's the city of Boca. Close permits fast. We came up. Why did we come up? This specific page, Palm Beach County. I have a page on Palm Beach County permits processes. So people don't know about the process, so I posted about the process. So we did, and we come up, and we did that on almost every city, I think. So Palm Beach close permit, and in aggregate, he comes up here. Close permits. How about even nationally? Close permits. This is important if you're in real estate trying to buy a house. You have to make sure the permits are closed. He's #1 in the world on closed permits, and he's closepermitsfast.com. So, keyword research. Yes, be aware of your top phrases. Content is king. I'm sorry, I have to move a little faster. Otherwise, we're not going to cover it all. I got to get to Google's new algorithm. Otherwise, we'll do a part 2 if anyone wants to sign up. But content is king. So there are 2 types of content: blogs and evergreen content. A blog is something temporal, like we blog about this month being a National Alzheimer's Month. Evergreen content is something that doesn't change that frequently, like variable life insurance, term life insurance, things like that. You have to have core pages on these main topics. And those are the 2 types of main content. Authoritative content versus generic content. Okay, this is also very, very important. Google rewards authoritative content. If you're an authority on your topic, then you have an advantage over a lot of other people in your business. And you should contribute content about your topic area, authoritative content. If you're an expert, show off your expertise in your blog posts. Google rewards authoritative content. The more interesting and detailed the information you provide, the better you're going to do. Just think about it. You don't want to waste your time on Google going through sifting to look for information. You want your answers fast. So provide compelling articles about the things you know about. What does good content look like? So this is a motorcycle accident. Well, this is actually a personal injury lawyer, and they have practice areas, including motorcycle, right? So we did a whole subsection because it's important on motorcycle wrecks now, because that's a very important part of what they do. He's an expert on motorcycle accidents. And here we created a page with a lot of statistics. It's no surprise. Miami streets and highways result in motorcycle accident rates climbing every year. In 2018, the Florida Office of Traffic Safety reported 531 people passed away in motorcycle crashes. In 2019, 7,700 accidents, yada, yada. So he's an expert. He's showing that he's an expert by talking about the local area, by talking about what's happened in his field, a lot of accidents. And does this work? So let's say biker injury lawyer in Miami. Oh, here's the Google screen I was talking about before. You can get up there if you want. That's pretty expensive though. And we're #1 on a search term for biker injury lawyer Miami. And you can also search and incognito, it will come up as well. I know you're saying, oh, it's cached in his computer, but if you do the other type of search, it's going to come up high, #1 as well. Okay, so authoritative content on your site, a great idea. Professional videos in photography, videos on key topics, 1 minute and 2 minute expertise videos. Even like if I sat in front of a camera, in fact, I've done videos like that, and I just, off the top of my head, because I'm an expert in my field, give some tips on a certain keyword phrase, not on every keyword, but let's say I just want to talk about blogs versus evergreen content for a couple minutes, and I put it up there, blogs versus evergreen content, what's the difference? That may come up high in a YouTube search or in a Google search when people search for that. Okay, hierarchy in your site. This is getting kind of technical. How much time do we have?
Let's see. We have about 30 minutes left, but you want to give people time for Q&A.
Good. Okay. So I want to show you a little bit about hierarchy. This is a client that does call answering, right? They come up high on call answering. Now they also really want to come up on nurse triage answering. So when people call and they need to keep calling, some people keep calling the doctor because they're very upset about the situation. So the doctors put a triage nurse in there. And so they wanted to come up on triage nurse. So in our hierarchy, we decided, here's your top level. Your homepage, the way Google calls a website, the homepage is given the most weight because it's top of the top level, like in a directory file structure on your computer. Google weighs that the most. The second level pages are weighted second most important because Google figures, hey, if they're going to devote a category or top level page in the hierarchy, then it must be pretty important. So that's why I say put your keywords and general topics here. If you can, instead of just saying solutions, we put call center solutions. Okay. Actually, I'm talking to them now about putting nurse triage. It's so important about bumping this and putting nurse triage up here. But for now, we're doing pretty well. With nurse triage, we have a main page here, which is an overview of nurse triage. And it contextually links to subpages within that section. So it's a whole little mini website just on telephone nurse triage. Here's the pediatrician page on nurse triage. And see how this is another link here? These are called contextual links. If you go through your website and you don't see links, bad. If you have a page on travel deals to Africa and you're not linking to the travel deals page, you should do that. So here's the nurse triage answering service. We have a page on it, so link to it. That's called contextual linking. So you want to do contextual linking within your website, linking all within your site logically to other content that relates to the topic. So does all this work? Does the well thought out hierarchy with pages on the different search terms, does that work? So we're gonna do a search for telephone nurse triage. Hopefully it works. We're doing everything we can. We have competition. It did. So we didn't come up on that term. How do you like that? Telephone nurse call answering triage. So we come at number 1 for that. Let's say hospital nurse triage service. We come at number 3. So you're not going to come up for everything, but we come up with a ton of terms. This client is extremely happy that we did this for them. And so this is what I would recommend to you, especially on your core keyword phrases. You have a lot of content and organize it logically. Okay. So here's another example. Auto repair is the site's main theme. Tesla auto body repair is the primary focus key phrase. And the secondary focus key phrase is Tesla repair, which is more general. And these terms also go into your metadata. Tesla auto repair, Boca Raton. This is a competitor. Our client is called First Class Auto. And they came up number 3 in Boca, even though they're based in Pompano. Okay. And see this, and see this, and see that. These are called meta. This is your meta title tag. So you can control that and you write that for every page. Some people don't write a good tag. It should be at least 70 characters. You should start with your most specific keyword phrase, in this case, Tesla auto body repair, because that's the most important spot in a keyword tag, followed by more general secondary term, which I just showed you, Tesla repairs, and then auto painting, which is the general term. And that leads to great results because you put some thought into it ahead of time. It's just logic. I have a white paper on SEO content writing, if anyone's interested in that in the future. So we just went over tags. Other tags include the description tag, the alt tags, and the schema tags. Schema tags. If you have a team that you work with, make sure they're doing schema tags if you're local, because schema tags are extra tags following the schema.org protocol that they give you an extra step. A lot of people don't use them, and you can use them to help you come up higher. H1, H2, H3, this has to do with formatting your pages properly. Your top of your page, it should have a very large title. That's the H1. Slightly smaller, a subtitle on the page. So, Tesla repair. What type of repair? Tesla auto body repair. And then H3 would be the headings in your paragraphs. That's the way your pages should be formatted. Google will like that. Technical SEO. That wasn't even technical SEO. So now we're getting into the technical SEO. That's the light SEO. So you want to optimize your site or tweak the variables. There are over 200 variables in Google's algorithms. You want to monitor and react to the algorithm changes. So you got to kind of stay in touch with when Google changes. They do changes every day, actually, but they roll out major changes maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. You use Google Search Console to fix bugs. Google Search Console is awesome. This is pretty advanced, but you'll get it if you have that Google account. Okay, so this is brand new. Google has Core Web Vitals in here and page experience links. So you can just log in. Not enough data yet, so it's brand new. First class auto. Okay. You can go in and look at different sites and performances. Okay. And, website speed. Here's a tool for website speed. Does anyone want to test the speed of their website? Lately, a lot of sites have taken a hit because of the new algorithm change. So you want to try to make your site come up as high as possible using this. You want to make your site as fast as possible. And this tool is an important way to see how fast your site is. So I'm going to do BocaChamber.com.
It's just Boca Chamber.
Oh, okay. Well, whoever Boca
That might
Chamber.
come up. I don't know.
Or if anyone else wants to try their site.
I'd love to see Boca Chamber, though.
Oh, okay, Google doesn't like to be interrupted. Okay. BocaChamber.com. Takes a second here, 52, 53. While we're on this, Google Page Insights is the tool that we use, and also the benchmark for speed. It's tuned in with Google's new algorithm, and it's going to show you exactly what Google's new algorithm is looking for in terms of speed, which is something called LCP. We may not get to this, that's why I want to mention it now. LCP is the largest contentful paint. Okay, you have red. Red is not good. It takes 6.9 seconds for the LCP. LCP is your largest contentful paint. What that means in layman's terms is it's the biggest graphic on your page. How long does it take to load? How long does it take the biggest graphic to load? And that's too long. It should take 2.5 seconds or less. So that's if you want to jot down LCP. This is a good curveball to throw your SEO to, or your web developer. If he should know about this because it's been coming for a while. But if they don't know what LCP is, ask them, how are we doing on the LCP on my site? They scratch their head, then they're like, they're not paying attention to Google's latest algorithm, because this is the most important part of it, is the LCP, largest contentful paint. But you want to try to get these in the green, okay? See, the score goes up to 100. Now that's for mobile. Desktop, you're doing better, I bet. Yep, and you are. Okay. So our desktop score, we're doing better. First contentful paint. Great. Largest contentful paint. We're right there. It could be a little faster. So what they want to do, is do some more mobile optimization to make it faster. But this is how you do the speed test using Google Insights, which is, anybody can get to this. You don't have to have a Google account. Just go like Google free speed. Oh no, well, Google Insights. So jot that down for your tool chest. Okay. Technical SEO. So we need to work on your Google sitemap. You want to make sure you have a Google sitemap. If you have a WordPress site, you get to that by just going, sitemap.xml. So this is, can everybody see that? Google sitemap. This is like a set of breadcrumbs that you leave for Googlebot, the crawler, to come in and find your website. So it's a file that you would have. This is how WordPress does it, but every website should have a sitemap. If you don't have a sitemap, you're leaving it to Google to figure its way around your website. It's better if you provide the pathway to your own website. It's like the map. Here, Google, enter here, then go here and follow here. That's what a Google sitemap is. Boom. And you also need to maintain your plugins and your theme, especially if you have a website that's in WordPress, guys. Make sure you're keeping your plugins up to date, or you can have security issues. Google does not like security issues. They do not like to bring websites to their users that have malware or problems. Nobody likes that. So maintain that. Aha, finally, there's a new Google algorithm rolling out. Does anybody know the name of it? Bonus question. You get my free white paper on writing good content. It's called Google Page Experience. Google Page Experience. Why Page Experience? Well, it's all about providing a good page experience for your visitors. You want them to go into your website. You want them to explore your website and enjoy themselves and learn something and use your website. The best websites are the ones that people use. That's why these companies provide tools on their site, so you go back to it. It's sticky content, which you mentioned earlier. Top 10 lists, sticky content. Things that people are going to search for that they need help with, that's what you want to put on your website as well. Okay, so these are the main variables and items Google is looking for in Google Page Experience algorithm. Do your pages provide a positive, useful, safe, and secure experience for your users? Speed. Does your website load in under 2.5 seconds? Of course, we showed you the speed test. HTTPS. Is your website secure? We're going to get into that in a second. Safe browsing. Does your site have any malware? We want to avoid malware. Keep your plugins updated and keep your theme updated. Avoid these pop-ups, okay? Bothersome pop-ups that you want to keep blocking away. Google's really going to put the hammer on those websites, okay? One pop-up for a discount on your handbag website or whatever is going to be fine, but you don't want to bother people with lots of ads, which is good because we all hate that, right? So Google's trying to make the page experience algorithm combat that. And then core web vitals. Okay, so as if it's not complicated enough, there are 3 new core web vitals. I've kind of given you a hint. But these are new parts of Google Page Experience, even newer than Page Experience itself. And LCP is one of them. And you all know what LCP is already. Mobile optimization, which we touched on briefly. Is your website responsive? We touched on that before. But the search market now is divided between desktop searches and mobile devices like iPads and phones. 50% of searches are on mobile devices. So you want to make sure your site looks great and is optimized for mobile. If you're not sure if your site is responsive or not, ask me afterwards and I'll check it out real quick and let you know. But you need to be responsive. Is your website secure? This is another critical part of the Google Experience algorithm, like we just saw. And you probably know that your site should be secure. And if not, let me show you. This is a new client of ours, actually. Does anybody know what the first thing I told him was? If you take a look, an extra bonus for this. Is this site pleasing, compelling, want to make you keep going through it? I mean, sort of, right? But look up here, not secure. That's not good. So we just started with this company last week. This is the first thing we're going to be working on after we do our benchmarks, is securing this, because I'm sure everybody here has a secure website. But if you don't, you need to do it. It's so critical. So A to Z injury law, that's what secure looks like right there. That's what secure looks like right there. Okay. Make sure your site's secure. We can help you with that if you need help, of course, but it's easy to check. Just check for that lock. So look for that lock. Okay. Core Web Vitals. Okay. We're winding down. This is the new additional major ranking factor, because Page Experience actually has rolled out, in early May, more or less. But now Core Web Vitals just came out last week. And that's where we have 3 specific web page experience metrics that Google considers super important. You saw one of them already, the largest contentful paint, which is how long it takes for the largest image to load. So you're going to be way ahead of all your friends now. And this is great pool talk for this weekend. Hey, do you know what your LCP is? Is your LCP under 2.5 seconds? But it's going to be really important. Also, first input delay, which is the interactivity of your site. You ever click on a site and you have to wait for anything to happen? Google's really going to punish sites where that happens. That's your FID score. And then your cumulative layout shift, which is visible stability. You know, you ever go to a site or mobile and then things start moving around. You're like, whoa, I was just reading that. And then, oh, it moved again. And it keeps moving. Bad. Google page experience is going to punish sites that have that. It's going to weed that out. So these are 3 items. And how do you measure this? This is in the Google Insights tool I just showed you. Okay, in there. And next. Okay, so winding down here, these are your key performance indicators, kind of like the control panel in an airplane or in your car, on the dashboard, your dashboard. These are, every site is different, but these are some KPIs that I think are important. So these are things you want to keep track of how your site is performing over time. Your keyword rankings. And I want to show you a cool tool for keyword rankings. Keyword, you track your keyword rankings, very, very important, okay? We like green when things are going up, up, up. So like this is one of our clients, and see these #1 positions. Isn't this cool? You get to see all your rankings at once. So that's keyword ranking. Number of visitors, that comes from Google Analytics. Make sure you have Google Analytics. Your bounce rate. Bounce rate is in Google Analytics. You may not know this exists, but a bounce rate is what percentage of people go to your website and just bounce. They just leave it. And out of 100%, you want to have your bounce rate 50% or under if possible. Okay, so people, if your bounce rate is 75% or 90%, something's wrong. Like that site I told you with the epoxy floors, his bounce rate's very high. It's like 80-something% because people are seeing it's not secure and they're bouncing. Session duration, which is how much time are people spending on the site. You want people to stay on your site a while because they're reading all the great authoritative information that you provided. The number of page views. The more pages they view, the better. Only 1 page, that means they bounce. That's not good. Calls, form fills, or conversions. That's a critical KPI. How many leads did you get? You got to track that. There's a way to track that with your Google Analytics. So every time someone fills out a form or calls you, you get it registered in your analytics. So you can see every month, oh, I got 5 calls from Google. I got 3 calls from Facebook. We can track all that. The most popular pages. Okay, so you can see what content people like and you can put more content about those topics. And the keywords that are used to find. So these are great keyword, key performance indicators or KPIs to keep an eye on the performance of your site. In closing, I would advise you to stay involved with your website. You can't just sub it off to someone and forget about it. You always want to stay involved because after all, it's your business. But if you follow our local management formula, which is having a responsive site with authoritative content, plus technical updates and quality backlinks, and you keep working on it or have a team work on it weekly, you'll get high rankings. Get that all-important Google account. Record your benchmarks when you start, and then set up KPIs to follow your progress along the way. Find someone you trust to handle your site. And here's the curveball with LCP. And try to give Google what it wants, because after all, it's Google's sandbox. Let your fingers do the walking. Back to Google, and let your fingers do the walking over back to Allison and Chastity. Thank you for having me today. If you'd like to contact me, there's my information. And I think we have time for questions, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. That was really insightful. I took a lot of notes. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I hope you liked it. I don't do a lot of these presentations, so I enjoyed it today. I actually liked it. I like when everybody gives me questions and makes it interactive. Otherwise, I feel like I'm speaking to myself. It's like an echo chamber.
So questions, just yell them out if you have any questions.
Quick question for you, Rick. On the
I'm Dan with Travel Coach. Okay.
Yeah, when I'm redoing or adding a new page, how important it is with the H1, H2 titles? Can you overuse those too much? Do you have to have?
Yes. You can overuse that. In fact, there's a tool that shows you, the SEO site checkup tool will show you if you're overdoing it. But every page should have one H1. It can have, typically is one H2 and then several H3s, which is those subtitles.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, just you don't need H1s all over the place then.
No,
Okay.
you don't want to so Google sees the H1 as the most important because, hey, it's the top of the page, it's the big topic. So that's why people say, oh, I could put a bunch of H1s, Google's going to really like this page. No, just one H1. And because if Google sees that you're doing things like, not that you are, Dan, but I'm saying when sees people try to take the algorithm and push it too far, they'll punish you in the end. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, punish your site, sorry.
Any other questions?
Who's that?
Shashi?
No, I was just saying there's a question on the chat. What is the difference between blogs and evergreen content?
Oh, great question. Okay, so this is one of our clients. And I'm going to show you their blog. They do a great job. They blog every week or even sometimes twice a week. So a blog is content that changes topics that are topical and temporal in nature. Like this is June, Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. Okay, so that next month, this stays up here, but it's going to be out of date to a degree. So you have to put up a new blog. You know what I mean? The COVID-19 information, you usually wouldn't have permanent. I wouldn't say you put permanent pages about COVID-19 because it's changing. So you'd want to put that not as an evergreen page, but as in the blog. Things are going to change. Here's National Senior Health and Fitness Day blog post. Now, evergreen content would be the Parkinson's Care Program, the staff. A home health aide is a home health aide is a home health aide. Okay, so that we're adding contextual links. You may change sentences on here from time to time, which is good. Don't just leave your content there. Update things as they happen, but that's permanent or evergreen content. Does that answer the question? Yeah, so your main site pages are typically evergreen content. Your main site page is typically evergreen content. Here's one of our sites, First Class Auto. He does collision repair. He has a whole section, and car painting and vehicle detailing. Those are his three main. I love this site because it's so logical. This is what I do. I have sections on each thing. These are his evergreen pages, and he does have a blog as well, which are about topics that are more, things that change. Oh, there's a new Audi just came out or something like that. I have to work on his LCP. Okay, next question.
That's it?
Okay.
Somebody has to have a question.
Oh no, I've got one. I was just waiting to see if there was anything written or in line.
Yeah, I do too. What happened with this is I think there's too many blogs on this page, Shashi, so you might want to talk to the blog team and have them look at that. Because I know they blog like once a week, so they're having a loading issue right now. Mm-hmm. So we're on it. Next, yeah, so go ahead and ask the question.
Yeah, my question is, how do you popularize a term? You did a search on franchise consultant, for example, and I'm familiar with the fact that the term itself is not as popular. It's only been, I think, growing over the past 3 to 5 years. How do you make a term like that popular?
Well, that's interesting. Now, usually it's not that you have to do that on your own by being an amazing franchise consultant in a way, because and you popularize it by putting great content out there, and you can actually own the space if you do that. Okay, but if it's not something people search for, I'm sure your industry is popular. I know it is. I've worked in franchise. I helped do Espresso Italia and some vending machines franchises, and now we have a client nursing. The Allegiance Rehab is actually doing a franchise opportunity now. So you have to find the terms that people are searching for. What are people searching for? And one way you can find out about that is by looking at your competitors' websites. So future of franchising, what keywords are they using? View the page source. So here's their title, which is where the keywords are. Future franchising, grow your franchise. Things, that's one way to look. You look at the code, you look at what other clients, other competitors are doing. You look in their keywords here, franchising opportunities, and then you populate all those and put them in a Google search tool. And then you begin to, people also search for, look at this, franchise consultant salary. How about franchise opportunity?
Franchise broker is another one.
How about help with the franchise? Help, using help. A lot of people search for that. Look at all the searches with help.
Ooh.
Okay. You brainstorm and you build a list that way. And then, and other ways you could do it. We could look at a competitor and spy. What's one of your competitors?
Off the top of my head.
Okay.
Oh God.
Franchise world, let's say. Okay.
That's us, actually.
Oh, okay. Franchise. Franchise.com. So this is spy software. These guys are huge, obviously. They're listed with 40,000 organic keywords and 6,000 paid keywords. They're spending $8,000 a month. How do you like that? This is a cool tool.
Yeah.
Competition. Yeah, competition. So here's your competitors. Franchiseopportunities.com. So you spy on them. Let's look at what they do. Competitors share keywords. Here you go. Franchise opportunity. Franchise direct franchise, and we explore deeper into it. So it's work. It takes work. You know, it's not something I can do right on the fly here.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I appreciate it, but
yeah.
you're showing me where to look.
Yeah, I gave you a
I'm
start.
grateful for that.
Oh, you're very welcome. But yeah, I've done some work in that industry. It's very, very fascinating. Yeah, the franchise opportunity industry. So yeah, you want to provide content that basic keyword phrases people are searching for. Give the people what they want. That's what I would say. But you can't force people really to search for something that they're not. Use the terms that they are searching for, and maybe you have to change your term, like the entertainment centers guy. He had to change to entertainment centers from entertainment units because there's not a lot of searches for entertainment units.
I got you.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Maybe
Sure.
it's not quick, but our website is really through an industry website, through all the search engine for all the thousands of products. And I'm not sure how much I can do.
You do the logo promo, right, Ross?
Right.
What's your website?
Everythinglogo.com.
There you go. Cool. We should talk to you because now you don't design. Do you design the logos too? No.
I don't design them, of course. I do designers, but
we should talk about that because we have a great logo design team and we have a lot of experience in that area. But that's another topic. Logo specialty advertising items.
Right.
So it's loading.
Yeah.
So you don't control this site. Someone else did it for you, more or less.
It's through the industry that we belong to. You know.
Okay. Love your name. Love your name though. That's great. Great brand. See these pop-ups and those things, and it kind of took time to load. They're going to have to work on that. But well, yeah. So let me see something here. I just have to take a look. School key house. Oh, yeah. See this type of URL with question marks and ampersands. Google won't parse through that because those are called those are variables like programming code, and Google won't go into that. It'll probably go to pages like this, about us. Yep, you're fine there. There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And product search content more. Do you have a blog on this?
No, and I should.
Yeah, ask them if you could have a blog, because then if you did a blog, you could keep blogging about, like, it's graduation time. Reward your graduating senior with their own logo specialty mug, you know, or you know, blog posts about your topics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So launch an event or grand opening, you know. you could have blog posts and that would help you. But in general, yeah. Do they stop you from having your own separate site?
No, I mean, I guess one can lead to the other, right?
Yeah, well, let me take a look at your, no, this might, yeah, no data. Yeah, so, yeah, we could talk offline. I'll be happy to give you some more ideas about this because you have a very good product, obviously, that people need. I love the way you have this here. It's well developed here.
There's some more video stuff on the right, I think, too. But...
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Any relationship to Roger Waters?
Oh, my English cousin. Actually, it's funny. People ask me that all the time. I do play bass, but I'm not related to Roger Waters. But my single United in Dance, if you notice, was with Crystal Waters. And it's no relation. But so that's pretty cool.
I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry. You mentioned that activity on social media increases your presence of the Google algorithm.
Yes.
Does LinkedIn count as social media is my question.
Yes, it does. LinkedIn more and more. I love LinkedIn because yeah, Google can see when you're posting in LinkedIn, and it's not a huge part, but it's probably what 1%, but it all adds up. 1%, 1.5% of the algorithms.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would continue to do that. Plus your backlinks in you're linking to your main site from LinkedIn, which you can do.
So when I post on LinkedIn, I should link it to my website.
Yeah, if you can, using keywords too. Like let's say what's your topic again? Give yourself a plug.
Okay. Thanks. I'm a business advisor. I'm a CFO.
Oh wow. Yes, so that's perfect. So when you talk about board governance, and a little post and LinkedIn, link back to your board governance page. When you have a new blog post about fiduciary responsibility of the board, or you have a blog post about any of your topics like executive coaching.
Yeah, I'm putting weekly business tips on LinkedIn via small videos. I guess I should probably also be posting those videos on my website and also linking probably the LinkedIn posts to my website.
Yes, your videos should go in your website and they should also go in YouTube. Are they in YouTube?
They are not.
Ooh, YouTube's #2 search engine. And what you should do is have a whole channel on YouTube.
I do have a channel, but I haven't been putting because I have webinars on it, but I haven't been putting the business tips on it. So and it's private, so only if I send the link.
Oh, well, then it's not as important. But I would do some public ones if you're trying to get new business, some publicly available videos, and then you can tag the videos like I showed you the other tags, so that you come up on searches in the search engines for YouTube. Like you're based in Boca.
Yes, I am.
So, 2021. Let's say you have a video on this, you could bring in some business from that. And so these are the tags. 2 ways to start a consulting business in 2021. She nailed it, see? How to build a consulting business in 2021. So it's very important how you tag things and title your videos as well. And a lot of people don't know on the videos, you can put a whole description. Oh, franchise. How do you like that? That's because I was searching for franchise. That's why that came up. Google's very smart, very smart, very smart. But you can, wow, this got 845,000 views. So comments are turned off, but.
No, that's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah. You can also put your transcript of your video is another tip, and add that to your, as a page to your site. Like take your whole transcript and then put the video in there as the illustration. And people would rather watch a video than look at a photo or read. So I would say, the more videos, the better. The short little topical videos are great.
You said put the transcript of the video on my website. Is that what you said?
Yeah, because that's good content. You're an expert. That's good content for search fodder for the search engines.
Rick, for your white paper, do we contact you directly?
Yes, my phone number, if you'd like, I'll give you my number. It's 561-376-5673. I love talking search with people. So it's 561-376-5673. Or yeah, my email is rick@highrisedigital.com. HIRISE. I spelled high rise like that. HIRISE digital.com. Highrise, Rick at Highrise Digital. I'm happy to answer that or any other questions you have. I'm in the national team, and at local management, we have a local division, which is all about local, and also national. So I'm on national and local. I'm on both sides of things actually as a CMO, but my address is Rick at Highrise Digital, just so you understand that.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Thank you so much. This was such a great presentation, and I know
good.
everybody got a lot out of it. Just a couple reminders. Successful Women in Business is on Thursday, and it is a live in-person event. And then if you have not been to Food, Wine, and Brew, please sign up for that. It's such a great event. It'll be in Boynton Beach on June 25th. Food, Wine, and Brew. Thank you, everybody. And I hope you all have just a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll see everybody soon. So thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.